Greetings, citizens of the world. President Donald Trump took to Twitter Saturday morning and gave Arizona Senator John McCain an shellacking for his opposition to the latest Republican attempt to repeal and replace Obamacare. The president said Senator McCain was convinced by Democrats and celebrities to let down his best friend Senator Lindsey Graham. Graham authored the proposed bill, which, although far from perfect, would manage to repeal the individual and employer mandates. The bill would also end the Medicaid expansion that 31 states and Washington, D.C., took advantage of under Obamacare and overhaul the funding for traditional Medicaid. If this last-ditch effort bill doesn't pass, then Obamacare will collapse on its own, and something tells me the ones who are going to get the blame for it aren't the charlatans like Barack Hussein Obama or Nancy Stretch Pelosi, who said we had to pass the bill to know what's in it, but probably the very Republicans who are the ones actually trying to repeal it, but who can't because three of their rhino, or Republican in name only, senators are impeding them. Senator John McCain calls himself a maverick. Senator, constantly going against your promises and against your very own party doesn't make you a so-called maverick, it just makes you a traitor to his party and constituents. The people of Arizona voted you in so you could repeal and replace Obamacare. You ran on this promise and you have been repeating this slogan since 2010. But when you have a chance to at least remove a few of the reasons Obamacare is such a burden on folks like myself, you side with Democrat voice pieces such as Jimmy Kimmel. These GOP senators could block Republicans' Obamacare repeal. Senate Majority Leader Mitch McConnell needs 50 of the chamber's 52 Republicans to vote for a bill that aims to repeal most of the Affordable Care Act and drastically reshape the Medicaid system. McConnell's office is planning to bring the bill up for a vote next week. Latest GOP effort to replace Obamacare could end health care for millions. Senator Rand Paul, RK, has made clear that his vote is unattainable on the latest and last-ditch proposal by GOP Senators Lindsey Graham of South Carolina and Bill Cassidy of Louisiana to roll back key pillars of Obamacare and convert Medicaid to a capped, block grant system. The problem I have with this current bill is it basically keeps the Obamacare spending, keeps the Obamacare taxes, most of them, and then actually just redistributes the money from Democrat states to Republican states, Paul told NPR's Ari Shapiro on All Things Considered. So I don't think this really fixes the problem, nor does it honor our pledge to repeal Obamacare. President Trump voiced his frustration with Paul on Twitter on Wednesday morning. Rand Paul is a friend of mine, but he is such a negative force when it comes to fixing healthcare. Graham Cassidy bill is great. And Zucker. He tweeted. But Paul says there is no amount of minor tweaks to Graham Cassidy that will change his mind, characterizing it plainly as a really crappy bill. That leaves room for just one additional GOP defection, or the bill will meet the same fate as the previous three failed attempts to dismantle President Barack Obama's health care law. The bill's sponsors are betting that every Republican senator who voted for the last Senate bill in July will vote in favor this time. The earlier reception to the latest bill has been generally positive. No Democrats or independents are prepared to support the bill. The focus remains on three familiar names in the health care debate: Arizona Senator John McCain, Maine Senator Susan Collins, and Alaska Senator Lisa Murkowski. All three GOP senators voted against the Senate's health care bill in July, with McCain casting the decisive vote to derail the legislation. Here are the undecided senators' stated concerns with the current legislation. Senator John McCain, Republican, Arizona. McCain has taken issue more with the process than the substance of the legislation. He has hammered Republicans for ditching regular order and ramming a bill through that has major consequences for tens of millions of Americans and the U.S. economy without hearings or any input from Democrats. McCain previously indicated he wouldn't vote for any health care bill that wasn't the product of regular order, but things change. For starters, Arizona GOP Governor Doug Ducey endorsed Graham Cassidy this week. McCain has indicated his governor's opinion would weigh heavily on his vote. The bill is also co-authored by Lindsey Graham, one of McCain's closest political allies in the Senate. Senator Susan Collins, Republican, Maine. Collins has all but announced that she will vote no on Graham Cassidy. She has criticized the process, calling for bipartisan solutions to health care problems, and has taken issue with the proposal that may be worse for Maine than the status quo. She made a point this week to tell reporters that the proposal could be devastating to Maine's rural hospital system. Unlike many Senate Republicans, there is no indication Collins's no vote has hurt her politically back home. If anything, she was lauded by constituents and local press for her opposition in the face of great party pressure. Senator Lisa Murkowski, Republican Alaska. Murkowski is the most inscrutable of this trio. She has been avoiding reporters and has not weighed in publicly on the bill. GOP leaders, the Trump administration, and Graham and Cassidy are working hard to secure Murkowski's vote. Like Collins, she has deep concerns about what reduced Medicaid spending could mean for her home state and its unique healthcare needs. Politically, Murkowski also received a wave of positive response back home for her no vote over the summer, so the political pressure is different for the independent-minded Murkowski. The absolute necessity of her vote, however, also gives Murkowski a lot of leverage to ask for whatever changes she wants to make to the bill. Senators are racing up against a September 30th deadline. That is the end of the fiscal year and when special budget rules expire that protect the health care bill from a Democratic filibuster. Until then, Republicans can pass it with 50 votes, plus a tie-breaking vote from Vice President Pence, instead of the customary 60 votes necessary to overcome objections to a piece of legislation. If the Senate can pass a bill, it still needs to head to the House for approval. Graham told reporters this week that House Speaker Paul Ryan has given him assurances that the House can pass Graham Cassidy. With just days left on the clock, Republicans say they are the closest they have come to date to fulfilling their campaign promises to undo the Affordable Care Act. While you, Senator McCain, fight an awful fight in one of the best hospitals in the world, people like myself go without health care altogether because once Obamacare hit we just couldn't afford our premiums anymore, roughly 5 million of us. But it's okay, Senator, you are royalty and we don't matter, we know the drill. And in case you wonder why we proudly elected a brash outsider such as Donald Trump as our president, just look in the mirror, maverick. Please share if you want Senator John McCain to just go away.